As the world becomes increasingly global, computerized and dependent on internet connectivity, the risk of internet or cyber fraud has become higher. Wikipedia defines internet fraud as a type of cybercrime fraud or deception which makes use of the internet and could involve hiding of information or providing incorrect information for the purpose of tricking victims out of money, property, inheritance, and more.
It happens all over the world. However, it seems to be more prevalent in places where people are not as internet savvy or as educated about what's happening in the digital world.
There is so much incentive, so much motivation for this to happen, and the economy is not even helping matters. And also look at the greed level of a typical Nigerian is very high. So everybody wants to make it suddenly. Everybody wants to make it suddenly. So this has pumped, these are the things fueling this. Go to the villages, go to primary schools, you see children talking about money.
Internet fraud is not considered a single distinctive crime. It covers a range of illegal and illicit actions that are committed in cyberspace. And since the victim unknowingly and voluntarily provides the information, money or property to the perpetrator, it is technically not classified as theft.
Actually, it's almost the same story that these fraudsters use to defraud people. They'll tell you, I'm calling from your bank, I'm your account officer. And for you to prove further, you wouldn't. And then people got defrauded. Actually, if you saw if you see anybody that has been defrauded, he must have compromised his login details.
I have been a victim of, I can say, a credit card scam and internet fraud at least twice. Number one is I was on a program in a British university called Cambridge, and I stayed in a hotel, and I left my credit card in my bag, and I think I didn't lock the bag, and maybe one of the cleaners went in, ransacked my bag, and picked the card details, and went ahead to make purchases. Insurance premium was paid, some groceries were bought from Amazon, and before you say jack, I lost a significant amount of money. Of course, the bank claimed that I was careless, so I didn't get my money back.
This is why special agencies are dedicated to the tracking down and arresting of perpetrators. Cybersecurity experts attribute the prevalence of cashless transactions globally to the rise in internet fraud.
There's been an increase in the use of the internet and the internet platform for transactions. So people need to be very careful when using these platforms for the transactions. But most importantly is the need to verify. You have an information on an SMS, on email, do not use those information. Go to the entity's trusted platform and get your information. Do not click on links you're not familiar with. Do not call phone numbers you're not familiar with. Do not be pressured into exposing your card details when you're being asked. And most importantly, do not log into your emails or your banking application from unknown or third-party sources. Try and make sure that those the means you log on through are means that you trust. If you log in through a colleague system or through a cyber cafe, do well to not just log out, but clear the caches, clear the cookies, and make sure that your details are not saved.
You need to understand that ATM card in itself is a critical tool to access your account. There's a 3-digit CVC code at the back, the 3-digit number that is, can be used online almost immediately if somebody has access to that. Even though now there's still one-time passwords that are sent to your phone number. But again, some of these scammers are becoming very sophisticated. They can clone your phone and get these one-time passwords, sent to them. There are more sophisticated levels at least, but on your part as somebody that uses these digital platforms, you need to be very careful in the kind of information that is readily available out there.
Before now, Nigerians' view of cybercrime was one of scammers, popularly called Yahoo Yahoo, targeting people outside Nigeria in 419 scams. With the dawn of each day, a rising number of Nigerians are falling victim to the activities of cyber criminals. Financial institutions hardly spend a day without attending to customers' report of different types of targeted phishing and phishing online frauds.
As you or we bankers are trying to safeguard, either the banks from losing money or customers from losing money, there are people that are having sleepless night just thinking on how best to beat the system. So the best is get an insurance, take an insurance cover. In the event that it happens, you can fall on your insurance. You have that, what we call all peril cover. Number two is to continuously improve and improve and improve on your what? On your internal controls and your safeguard.
As Nigeria becomes more financially inclusive, experts say the number of internet fraud victims is expected to increase, particularly as the cashless policy of the government mandates more customers to make use of electronic channels for their day-to-day transactions.
The most common way for you to buy anything online in terms of power is for you to, pay with your card details or through a transfer. Considering these various instances of cyber frauds and people being wary of exposing their card details online, this has led to us creating a solution whereby people are able to directly transfer to their meters or their cable TV without exposing their card details online. We've come up with a technology whereby your meter number could as well be your account number, could be an account number. So it means that you really do not need to go on a third-party website, you really don't go on a third-party app. You can simply make a transfer from your bank, which you trust, or through any of the channels that are available to you. So I believe that innovations like this will go a long way in actually curtailing cyber frauds.
To mitigate this risk, financial institutions are constantly engaging in customer enlightenment programs.
More and more people are now, onboarding onto digital platforms. Banks are trying to get more people to use these digital platforms, and generally, we're trying to, even as a country, we're trying to get more people from the unbanked to become banked. So naturally, you're going to have a set of people that are coming onto these platforms and are not necessarily aware of some of the pitfalls. So they will be susceptible to some of these type of scams, and there's probably not enough education for these types of people for them to understand some of the things that they need to watch out for.
Research shows that the rise of point-of-sale terminals, also known as POS agents, across Nigeria and their patronage has also increased the rate of ATM scams.
If those ATM points are functional, people will not have any reason to start going to POS everywhere, because fraudsters could easily set up theirs. You understand? Even though I know the banks and the government is doing so much, there's what they call the PCI DSS regulation, which helps to ensure safety of card users. But even with that, you don't know, these people, they are so smart. They always have a way they can easily clone your card or get your details. And so people, when they are punching their pins, they don't, cover those things. So they are there. They have an option. They have an intention. So while you are punching, they know what to do.
Sometimes it's not even the POS machine that reads the details. But as you hand them the card, whatever your card is, before you know it, they make a copy or photocopy and they got the details, And as you are putting your security pin, some people will be looking at you. If you are not careful, they will be looking. The way you pressed, they know where the buttons are.
Statistics reveal that fraud alert messages from financial institutions are usually only beneficial to educated customers. A huge population of Nigerians has no idea how to identify a fraudulent phone call or avoid interaction with scammers online or on the phone. How then can uneducated Nigerians be put on alert regarding fraudulent activities?
Now, these text messages, these informations are usually sent in English. We have to suggest to the banks to begin to send text messages with such information in Hausa language, or let's say in the traditional Nigerian languages, whether Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. These days, we have ATMs that are able, automated teller machines that are able to give you variety, whether special English or pidgin English, Yoruba, Igbo, or Hausa, or English. So we may as well be sending these text messages in vernacular. Number two, it will also be very, very important for the Nigerian banks to begin to do voice mail. So you just sit down, you get a voice call, and you pick the call, and somebody begins to speak to you both in Yoruba, Hausa, or English in such a way, a manner that don't reveal your card details, or be careful of unsolicited text messages and what have you. This last week it was because I got an alert, email alert, that a transaction involving $400 purchase of one item while you were in Seattle, USA, has been declined because of 1, 2, 3 reasons. And I am in Nigeria. I have not traveled to the US in the last 3 years. And I quickly called my bank to say, block my card. And now the card has been suspended because clearly the card has been compromised. Imagine if that card belonged to someone who couldn't read or write in English.
From time to time, banks and other financial institutions inform their customers to keep confidential information protected and never share with unknown callers or click on email links. Yet, hackers still find their way.
You can't never ever stop the fraud. These days, we now use fingerprint to conduct transaction. Even with the fingerprint, human being has been able to find mechanism to bifurcate, to circumvent, and to go around, that kind of control. So the very best is our continuous improvement and being careful. And in being careful, one has to be cautious without necessarily being a prisoner of caution.
Cyber criminals send digital bait through email, and most of the time, innocent recipient bite as long as the content is tempting enough. Data analysts say cyber criminals are always able to keep their scam afloat, as users are easy to lure in if the message looks legitimate enough. These emails sent by hackers to seduce gullible recipients are known as phishing emails.
Those that are a little bit more internet savvy might be able to look at the link to see whether it's a genuine link or not. However, if you're not that, just avoid pressing any links. Don't ever, if you get unsolicited emails or, phone calls with people asking for your personal details, do not ever divulge those kind of details. If in doubt, you tell the person that's calling you that you will go to your nearest branch and take care of whatever information they need at that point. But most people, these scammers are very, very persuasive. So when they call, they tend to give you this information and you feel comfortable and people just divulge. It might just be one piece of information they need to scam you, literally.
Experts say knowing how to identify phishing emails can be tricky when cyber criminals are constantly upping their game. However, they say it is not impossible.
If you have not reported a problem, then you should not be concerned about attempting to go through with a resolution of those problems. Another way to identify a scam is lots of those scams pressure you to pay money through a specific channel. There are very there are numerous ways you can make payments. They will insist you have to pay through this channel. So that is already a sign that this is a scam. And we tell people when you get emails, you want to probably look at those emails carefully. Most of those scam emails have typographical errors. Most banks and institutions take extra caution to make sure that whatever information is going out is standardized and is of the highest quality. So which means that they're very cautious about their sentences, the spelling of their words and all that.
Another form of targeted scam is through phone call, known as phishing. A phishing attack is a type of scam in which criminals contact a potential victim over the phone, pretending to be a company or financial institution, and try to convince them to share personal information.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Lafonio. How's family, sir?
Oh, thank God, sir.
Yes, sir. You are speaking to Emmanuel, customer care from your bank, sir. We sent alert to you this morning. I hope you received the alert.
Yes, I did.
Yes, sir. Why did you refuse to come to the bank, sir, with your national ID card, sir?
Sorry, I was busy.
Okay.
I was busy.
I hope your yes, sir. I hope your rightful date of birth is July 9, 1970.
You said?
Your date of birth, I hope it's 1970, July 9.
Yes. No, it's not July 9 though. It's July 18th, 1973.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. We are going to place it from your record now so that you will receive the message, okay?
Okay, sir.
I hope that you have your national ID card.
Yes, I have.
Because if you are coming with it to the bank, you will make sure you will come with your national ID card, okay?
It's okay, sir.
The ATM card, is it expire? Your ATM card is not expire.
No, which of the bank?
From the first bank, sir.
First bank?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it has expired though.
What is it? When the ATM card when did it expire?
I think second week of January, last month.
Which one? Yes, sir. Which one is there with you now that is not expired?
The one I have here, okay, it's my MasterCard.
Which of the ATM cards?
MasterCard. This one is MasterCard. It's my dollar account.
It started with 53. What is the expiring date?
Check, all the banks will tell you this. No bank would call you and tell you your information is incomplete, or no bank will even send you an SMS that your information is incomplete. You should come and update or give them your information for them to update your records. No bank does that. However, because of the naivety of the people and the fact that not everyone is so aware, these fraudsters have a way of profiling their targets.
A highly educated person that has been defrauded recently. And it's the same old story. I called from your bank. I am sending you, we are doing some maintenance, so I'm sending some numbers. Please, can you tell me those numbers again? Meanwhile, they've initiated a way of, like, it's as if it is you that said, yes, I have forgotten my password. Let me redo it again. And then the bank will only send, those credentials to only registered telephone number. So those guys will reset your account, and then the number will come to your telephone. They'll follow you and ask you, and you yourself will give them the number. So what else can the bank do?
The Nigeria Interbank Settlement System, NIBSS, in its third quarter report for 2020, captured fraud volume, fraud techniques, fraud sources, as well as affected demographics. The report shows that fraudulent activities increased during the lockdown from April 2020, when Nigeria gained about 2.5 million internet subscribers and online activities increased.
if you must do transaction via the internet, i.e. email, the best thing is do not transact business unless you speak with the person you are transacting the business with. For example, in the case that I lost significant amount of money, if I had placed a call to the person I was selling my money to, I probably would have asked him, I got your email, can you read what you sent to me? At least if we had had that, I would have had the opportunity to know that the email that I had, the content isn't his own. It is after this experience that I realized my bankers in UK, every now and then, whenever I have an opportunity to ask them to make a transfer, they normally call me, and not just to speak to me to confirm, but they insist I should state the content of the email I sent to them. If I had done that with my trading partner, I probably wouldn't have lost this money.
Fraudsters attempted attacks 46,126 times, and they were successful on 41,979 occasions, which was 91% of the time. Financial services companies lost about 5.2 billion naira to fraudulent activities between January and September 2020.
They understand that the economy is not so excellent and that many people need something to hold on to. So they easily throw those baits at people, and the gullible will swallow the bait. You understand? So once you swallow the bait, they are out there to fish you. They are out there to take money from you. They are out there to defraud you for their own personal gains. But they will come as if they are coming to help.
The Nigeria Interbank Settlement System, NIBSS, reports that criminals defrauded a total of 48,767 unique financial subscribers in 2020. Of this number, people over 40 years of age fell victim the most at 33.97%. People between 21 to 30 years were the second most defrauded at 31%, while people below 20 were the least defrauded with 6%. Experts say these figures have risen considerably since.
Even our SIM cards have a lock on them, not the phone. The SIMs themselves have a lock, but I am telling you, probably only 0.01% of 100% lock their SIMs. And that is how people can go through the SIMs and defraud people. Nowadays, when they steal your phone, they are not after the phone. They are after the SIM. If, for example, you are using that same number, same SIM for your financial transactions and things like that, they will get to know, and they can break in there. So lock it. If they even remove the SIM and put it onto another phone, the SIM will remain locked. Then there's no way they can defraud you.
With so many people being defrauded, digital security analysts identify the lack of two-factor authentication, PIN compromise, ATM card or phone theft as most common ways and reasons for fraud.
Providers of those services have made a situation that you can put extra security apart from even the login. People don't bother to go to a small extra lens and put another layer of security on your account. And sometimes it becomes, very easy for the hackers to go in. The way, people are researching and getting things secured is the same thing the fraudsters are also researching and getting how, they can bypass all the securities.
As these scams get more frequent, the need for stronger cybersecurity has become paramount. Cybersecurity covers how to defend devices and services from electronic attacks by hackers, spammers, and cyber criminals.
I think that even the government needs to go, has a part to play in terms of the regulators, because they need to make sure that Payment platforms are properly regulated. You want to be sure that only authorized people are allowed to process payment. And for users, there's something I want to point out very specifically to them. When you go on the site, you should be very cognizant. If you look at the address bar, at the upper left-hand corner, there is a padlock sign. If you see a site that doesn't have the green padlock, that's a red flag for you to use that site to make payments, because there's a likelihood that it's not a secured site and your card details can be exposed.
Data scientists say a strong firewall can protect internet-connected systems, such as hardware, software, and data from cyber threats, while a strong cybersecurity strategy can provide a good security barrier against malicious attacks designed to access, alter, delete, destroy, or extort an organization's or user's systems and sensitive data.
For a population like Nigeria, whereby the internet penetration rate is growing, it's very important that service providers pay a lot of attention to fortifying their infrastructure. And I think that cybersecurity is a role for everyone. It's not just the provider's point. Even you yourself must be cyber conscious, because being cyber conscious, I think, is the first level of cybersecurity. Take for instance, if you're going to a normal shop, if you see a shop that is suspicious, would you get into it? No, you won't. So the same thing applies online.